Hello and welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute since we did a fake tan video. Some of you may have even found me through one of these misadventures. Anyway, last year I don't think we did any at all because around the time that I would have been starting in the winter, I gave myself a black eye. It was a gardening incident. But I have a box full of untested fake tans and this year we will get through them. We're kicking off today with this. Also always have some paint on my hands. This is the Skinny Tan Pink Whipped Gradual Tanner. Supposedly it smells like strawberries and cream. Skin cooling effect with vitamin E. Strawberries and cream scent. I don't know if I'm gonna like that, truth be told. I'm gonna do this a little bit differently because I want to be able to use these overnight sometimes, especially when it's a gradual one. I can't always kind of like float around my house waiting for a fake tan to dry. You know, it's not locked down anymore, have places to be. What I am going to do is open this up, get it out of the can, look at the texture, give you a first impression. That's adorable. That's actually adorable. It smells like strawberry chewits. Quick first impressions. Very tacky on the skin. It feels like it's absorbing really quickly, but it's quite tacky. I did just use my hands because it is a gradual tanner. Historically, I always use a mitt, and it's like a whole thing to do any kind of fake tan. Even though I just like a little bit of colour, I always use a mitt and I always treat it as if it's a full fake tan. It does say on the bottle, or can, to use a mitt. So bear that in mind, but I just used my hands because if it's a gradual tan, if I'm going to be doing this several times a week, I'm not doing the whole palaver several times a week. It smells nice, but it's very, very sweet, and that's not going to be for everybody. Also, it's not a facial tan. However, I did do all of my regular facial skincare, left it a little while to absorb, and then I just put it on my face as well. So I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll find out what this did. This is quite dark. This feels like a lot of colour for one evening of gradual tan, and I personally am not going to be building upon this. This is as tan as I would want to be. We're ignoring the dirty mirror, but it's quite an even looking tan as well. To say how like slapdash I was, but the colour is just not sure, you know. I did wear a sweatshirt to bed because I didn't want to get the smell and the potential colour on my sheets. Now, no transfer whatsoever, so that's worth noting, but the smell within half an hour of applying it, that strawberries and cream kind of like sickly sweet smell had gone, and it was just traditional fake tan full force. I did shower first thing this morning and I saw that some colour did come off because the water didn't run clear, but I really showered because I was trying to get rid of that smell. It's not a different smell, it's just a fake tan smell, but it is quite strong. In spite of the fact that I showered this morning, I really can smell it. It has kind of lingered all day. I do think it's really quite orange in tone, but as I've said before, I'm not a professional fake tanner. This is not my wheelhouse. I don't have like a specific routine. I'm not comparing this to like my beloved fake tan that I use all of the time. This is for those people who occasionally want to use a fake tan and they're looking for something easy. We're on day 6. I actually did take a little clip of day 4. At that stage, it was, I thought, really, really patchy around my neck, my chest. As it's wearing away now completely, I think you can see it's not as bad as it was a couple of days ago because obviously it is fading more, but it is kind of uneven. I haven't found it to be as bad on my arms and my legs, which leads me to believe it's probably skincare related because any skincare I use on my face, I bring down my neck, my chest, and also my hands. So you can see, I mean, obviously I'm washing my hands constantly, but you can see the wear line. So my conclusion, I have some pros and cons. We'll start with the positives. It gave a really good amount of colour immediately, and that colour lasted really, really well. I didn't appreciate how well it had lasted until I was looking back over the clips and I was like, you know what, today we're on day 6. Tomorrow will be a week since I applied this tan, and this is still on there. It was really, really easy to apply. The scent was okay. I don't know why they do these scents, truthfully. I think the idea is that you're gonna be convinced that it actually is gonna smell like strawberries and cream for the entire duration and you're not gonna have that fake tan smell. All fake tans have a fake tan smell. Some are worse than others. We'll talk about this in a second, but that particular initial scent, I could do without it, but it was really, really easy to apply and the colour didn't transfer on my sheets or my clothing, which is another massive plus. I also felt like I didn't use all that much. It's difficult to gauge in one of those cans, but I would say I could probably get 3 or 4 applications out of one can of product. On to the negatives, the scent was very, very strong for me. Now, I am particularly sensitive to a fake tan smell. I do not like it. I tend to fake tan in the daytime for this reason because I don't want it to linger on anything. And this scent did transfer. I had to wash all of the clothes that I'd come into contact with while I was wearing it immediately because it was such a strong scent to me. It also seemed to transfer onto my foundation brush, which I've never known this happen before. But I put on foundation, I showered and washed my face and everything, but I put on foundation the second day, and on day 3, I could smell fake tan on the foundation brush, which was nuts. Although this was on the pros list, I'm going to put it on the cons as well, and that is the amount of colour that I got from one application. I absolutely would not have wanted to build on that colour. That was as deep as I would possibly want to be, but I think a lot of the problems that I had with the colour and the tone was expectations, and that's not what I expected from a gradual tan. I am usually reaching for a gradual tan because I want something more subtle, or because I do want something lighter that I can build on, and because I hadn't fake tan in so long, that is purposely why I chose that one to kind of like dip my toe back into the waters of fake tanning for this review. And so initially already I was like, oh, this is not what I expected it to be. I think it is a great tan just as a tan, but as a gradual tan, it's too much too soon. And I do want to mention the patchiness. Obviously it wore away in an uneven manner kind of in this area, but you really can't blame the product for that because that's more about the active ingredients in my skincare and where I choose to put that skincare, which is not going to change depending on what tan I use because that's just what I do every single day. So I think actually it lasted pretty well. The tan on my face lasted for about 3 days. Given that I'm using tretinoin every single night, I think it was fairly hardcore. I do have a couple of extra notes. I have had this since last summer. I mentioned, I think on Instagram, about having some tans that I didn't use last year that I'm going to try and review this year. I don't see that being a real problem because everything was unopened. It's not really different from it being like on a shelf in a shop. Just for full transparency, it has been in a box in a drawer since August, but I don't think that's long enough for it to have changed the product at all. And another thing that I forgot to mention when applying, it does have a cooling sensation, which it did mention in the description, but I forgot to mention after I put it on. It's not something that you're going to notice, I mean, maybe slightly cooling, not something you notice like all over your body, but if you are putting it all over your body and it migrates, it travels a little bit, you're gonna know about it when it reaches certain areas. My problems with this fake tan are that it looked and smelled like fake tan. So I just don't know whether or not we can really consider those to be real true cons. I think some are better than others. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I am reviewing these for people like me who are looking for things that they can use very occasionally that are gonna be as low maintenance as possible. I wouldn't put that necessarily into the best of category for me. There are definitely better ones. I have reviewed some, you can see in my previous videos. But if I just wanted something that I knew was going to work and was going to give me a regular fake tan look immediately, I would use this one again.